Alright, hello everyone, and welcome back to the most electrifying and exciting sports podcast on all of YouTube. I'm Logan. I'm here with Devin.
Welcome everyone.
And we are here with a very special guest, the all-around sports analyst of the Fam Sports podcast. We got Squid here. What's up, Squid?
Hey, what's up, man? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. Alright, so the first topic we have is NHL playoff season. In my opinion, the most exciting playoffs in all of sports, and we have some very exciting matchups. DB, how about let's go into these matchups here?
All right, let's start with each series. We'll just run through the series. We'll get everyone's picks for that series, how many games you think it'll go. And let's start in the Atlantic Division. The Lightning, they came out with the 1 seed this year. I think were they one in the NHL or just one in the Eastern? I think they were one in the NHL as well. I'm not sure. But they're playing the Devils, the second wild card. I have the Lightning winning in 5 games. How about you, Squid?
The exact same thing.
I actually have the Devils winning in 7 games.
The Devils.
I think the MVP, in my personal opinion, Taylor Hall, I think he will rejuvenate this Devils team. I think they're going to upset the Lightning in 7 games.
Wow. Bold prediction.
In overtime as well.
In overtime.
Yep.
As far as it can go. Keep in mind the Devils this season, they did beat the Lightning 3 times. All 3 times that they met. Close games though. 1-goal games were all of them. 1 went to shootout. The second matchup in the Atlantic, the Bruins and Maple Leafs. This is one of my favorite series. I think I'm looking forward to this playoff season. I have actually the Leafs winning in 7. I think they can pull it off. Squid, how about you?
I've got Boston in 6. I really like the scoring this year. Their scoring is way up from where it was last year. The goaltending and defense has stayed pretty strong for them. So I have them at 6.
I actually think that's pretty stupid, Squid, if I'm being honest. I don't think you can doubt the Maple Leafs here. I think they're going to win in 7 games just like DB. The Maple Leafs are 3-1 against the Boston Bruins this year during the regular season. And granted, playoffs are a whole different game. But I still have faith in my Maple Leafs to beat your Boston Bruins, the joke of a team.
Yeah, I wouldn't call them a joke of a team, but I do think the Leafs, they got that young talent. They had that experience last year. Remember, they went up against Washington, one of the better teams in the East that year, and they put up a good fight. I think it was 6 games last year against the Capitals. Gave the Capitals a little bit of a scare. Thought they couldn't even make it to the second round, let alone the first. But we move on. The Capitals, Blue Jackets. Interesting series, although we've seen in the past the Blue Jackets, they've gone up against the Penguins the past couple times they've been in the playoffs. I have the Capitals winning in 5. And I think pretty convincingly. How about you, Squid?
I have them in 5 games as well. Good luck for Columbus keeping up with Washington. Their forwards are just incredible. Interesting, though, that the Capitals are going with Grubauer.
I think that's really interesting as well. But, I mean, think about it. You got to go with the hot goaltender. I think that's the way the NHL is going to work from now on. You got a good 1-2 punch there, Grubauer and Holtby. You got to go with who's hot, and Grubauer's been very hot when it comes to the second half of the season.
Sometimes you have to make the bold move because Holtby has not shown the ability to win in the postseason. So it's an interesting move, and it'll have big implications on their postseason hopes.
I don't think you can doubt the Capitals at all. I also have them going in 5 games, and that's just because of the greatest player in the NHL right now, in my opinion. All right,
get off your high
Alex Ovechkin.
Come on.
We can have this conversation a different day, but I believe that this is his year to win that cup.
All right. You're pushing it there, and I know that's a different topic for another time. So we'll get to it. Don't worry.
All right.
When we see the Capitals and Penguins in the second round, we'll get to it.
We will see Ovechkin win. All right.
Oh, yeah, we'll see. We'll see about that. Penguins, Flyers. I have Penguins in 6. The Flyers too young, in my opinion. Penguins too fast. I just have the Penguins going in 6. I think Philly, they'll win a couple games at home, and then the Penguins will win 5 and 6. Squid, how about you?
I have the Pens in 6. The Pens are a way better team. But I think the Flyers will be able to take some. It's a rivalry, so the games are always close. But when you look at the teams, the Penguins are just better everywhere. The goaltending for Philadelphia is awful. Brian Elliott looked horrible tonight. well, for half of tonight before he got pulled. Just awful. The blue line isn't as good as the Penguins, and they don't have as much depth. The Penguins are a better team, but they're a feisty bunch, so I think they can steal a couple in Philadelphia.
This, honestly, is my clean sweep.
You have a sweep.
I have the Pens going in 4 games. No more games. Because I think the only chance that the Flyers have is if they go all rough and tough. They just go out there and look like a bunch of brutes, hitting the Pens all across the boards. But that won't happen, not with the skill players that the Penguins have. We have 3 potential MVPs in Crosby, Malkin, and Kessel. I just don't think the Pens can be stopped. Operation 3-peat, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Except for when the Capitals come in.
Hard to bet against them. Yeah. Hard to bet against them, especially from what we've seen already tonight. 5-0, as it is right now. So we move to the West, and this is also one of my top matchups. The Predators and Avalanche. I think the Avalanche are a very interesting team. I think they'll take 3 games off the Predators, actually. I have them going into 7 games, and the Predators ultimately come out victorious. I do take into account the Predators are 4-0 against the Avalanche this season. Only one of them was a 1-goal game, but I don't know. I think the Avalanche, Nate McKinnon, I think he's personally in the running. Definitely top 2 players this year for MVP. So I think Predators in 7 though.
I've got the Predators in 5. I really like them this year. Actually, I think that they're going to win it all.
That is a
they're
bold
start
statement.
Strong and ride that wave to being the Stanley Cup champion.
No way. No way in hell. Hell would have to freeze over for the Predators to win this year.
You think? They made it to the finals last year.
I know they were the runner-up last year, but we will get to this in two more series, but I don't think you can doubt the Vegas Golden Knights. We will get to them, but right now I have the Predators winning in 6 games. I think the Avalanche will put up a fight, but I do think that the Predators have more weapons, and I think they are also kind of underlooked as well across the NHL, but I have the Predators going in 6 games.
And another game started today, Jets and Wild. That should be an interesting series, in my opinion.
Yes.
The Jets obviously start out at home. They are the 2 seed in the Metro. I have the Jets winning in 6. I think the Jets are just a better, deeper team with younger scorers and better scorers, for that matter, than the Wild.
I've got the Jets in 7. Minnesota, they have a good team. That injury to Suter is really going to hurt them. And in the end, I think that makes the difference. That and the scoring. They have such good, talented young scorers that I don't think Minnesota will be able to keep up over the course of 7 games.
I also have the Jets going in 7, and I think this is probably one of the most interesting matchups that we'll see because we have a great offense that the Jets bring and a great defense that the Wild bring. So it's really going to be a clash of the Titans here in this series, and I do think the Jets will pull away just because they have that home advantage. So that's why I have the Jets going in 7.
Yeah, they have a great playoff atmosphere there. I think that's great. All right, here they are. Your so praised Vegas Golden Knights.
As we know, this is the best expansion team ever in their first season.
Yeah.
And I will be the man to say it. I will be the first to say it. This will be the best expansion team in the history of the NHL.
Wow.
And I think in their first ever season, they will win the Stanley Cup. I have them beating the Kings. A clean sweep, Squid. A clean sweep.
Wow.
I
don't see that.
I have the Kings in 7. So, I think your Golden Knights, they got some good players there. They got some depth. They got Fleury, a franchise goaltender.
They're a physical team, but I don't know if the LA Kings, they know how to win when it comes to the postseason. Their problem is making it to the postseason. They finally got there.
But here's the problem, Squid. These LA Kings, they haven't gone up against the Golden Knights yet in playoffs. The Golden Knights are the wild card.
Gone up against anyone in playoffs.
Exactly. That's what makes them so unpredictable. And sure, you can say they don't have the experience that other teams have. But I'm telling you, I've seen so impressive games from these Golden Knights this season, and I believe that they will take it all. Sure, the series is tied between these two during the season. 2 games for the Knights, 2 games for the Kings. But I think playoffs is a different story, and we are going to see the rise of a franchise for the Golden Knights, baby.
I don't know. I think they're going to be the best expansion franchise to ever lose in the first round of the playoffs.
We'll see. We'll see. First game tomorrow. You better be watching. And they'll prove you wrong.
Actually, they play tonight.
Oh. Looks like you better be watching tonight, Squid, because they'll prove you wrong.
I will enjoy seeing the LA Kings win tonight.
Oh.
We'll see.
Remember, Vegas does have home ice advantage in this series. They got 4 home games if it goes to 7.
What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, baby.
The LA Kings have won before as an 8 seed, so I don't doubt them on the road.
We'll see. We'll see. And I think they're a 7 seed this year in the West. Yeah, Avalanche are 8.
Yeah.
But they came in first wild card. But
yes,
still.
they're the lowest seed on this side of the bracket, so I think they come in as slight underdogs with a chip on their shoulder.
Yep.
All right, well, the next series we have is the Ducks versus the Sharks. I got the Ducks going in 5 games. I don't think the Sharks will put up that much of a fight
You
here.
don't think so? I have the Ducks in 6.
I've got San Jose in 6.
Wow. I don't know what to say, but you're an idiot.
I think it depends on Joe Thornton's health. If we could see Joe Thornton come back, he's a big part of this team. A veteran presence.
Squid, excuse me, but I actually have a question for you. Have you watched a single Anaheim Ducks game all season long? This is a new team.
They have always let me down. They've always had...
Hey.
It's exciting.
They have let you down in, like, the second or third round. They have not let you down in the first round previously. They usually make it deep into the playoffs, which is why I have them going up against the Sharks here and winning.
I agree wholeheartedly with you, DB.
Keep
Squid,
in mind,
I don't think your Sharks will make it out of the first round.
Although both big physical teams, they have gone to 3 shootouts in the regular season out of 4 games played. So it should be a very entertaining series. But I don't know. I can't see the Ducks Sharks. You know, they've got a good core, but let me tell you, that core is rotten like a freaking apple. That place is going down fast after a couple more seasons. All right, so that's all the series. So I want to hear, do you have any upsets in your bracket? And if so, what's your biggest upset?
I've got the LA Kings in the conference finals. I think coming in as a wild card, it would definitely be an upset for them to win their first series. And then riding that hot wave, I see them winning again, going to the conference finals. I don't think they can get past Nashville. Nashville's just too good. But they could ride through this side of the bracket and end up in the conference finals. I wouldn't be too surprised.
For me, I'm going to have to go with the Devils, as I said before, and also the Maple Leafs as well. I believe that those two are probably the biggest potential upsets happening. Of what Squid said about the Kings, I mean, we already went over that. They stand no chance against my Vegas Knights. So that was just a dumb upset. And, yeah. Like I said, hell would have to freeze over for that to happen, buddy. So.
Well, for me, it's the Maple Leafs, and I think the Maple Leafs can make it to the finals. The conference finals, excuse me. Not the Stanley Cup finals, the conference finals, where they'll lose to the Penguins in 5 games. Yeah. So, we'll see. We'll see how that works out. Of the first round matchup, Squid, which one do you think will be the most entertaining, and which one are you most looking forward to watching?
Boston, Toronto. You have 2 excellent teams in the Atlantic, and they've been playing well all year, really. And I could see either of them, if they win, going far, even though they'll be facing Tampa Bay in the second round if they move on. Both of those teams are super dangerous. The other matchups I don't think are going to be as competitive as that matchup.
For me, I got to go with the battle for PA. Philadelphia against Pittsburgh. It's always great to see those 2 teams go up. As we know, They are very brutal with each other, and they usually play some great games. But like I said, I have the Penguins clean sweeping them, but I still think it'll be entertaining to watch the Flyers just get their butts whooped.
Yeah,
So.
and as we speak, 7-0 Pittsburgh.
That is
Kind of
absolutely
embarrassing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Brian Elliott looked like a fish out of water earlier in the game.
Couldn't win in
And-
St. Louis, and he can't win in Philly.
I believe that is a hat trick for Crosby. So, incredible. Just incredible.
All right, so our last topic for the NHL world today is Squid. If you had to pick the MVP right here, right now, today, who would your MVP be?
You know, if you would have asked me 2 weeks ago, I would have said Nikita Kucherov. Right now, I'm going to say Taylor Hall.
Thank you.
Yes.
He has been so hot, and this New Jersey Devils team, you take him off the team, there is no way that they are a playoff team. They have been way better since Hall came over, and that was a steal of a trade. Edmonton has shipped away talented players time after time, and they're paying for it again.
And we
And
see where that's gotten them.
I have winning MVP.
We see where that's gotten them nowhere. Everyone loves Connor McDavid. I hate him.
I love him.
I think he's a twat. That's what I think he is. And you know what? People say he's the best player in the world. No, it's Sidney Crosby. He scored a hat trick in his opening game in the playoffs. He's just incredible. He does incredible things. That's what the best player in the world does. Not to mention, he makes his team better around him.
Yeah, he is all around. He's a better player. He's way better defensively. His hand-eye is unreal. I have not seen it. That first goal that he scored tonight was something unlike anything I've seen before. He could catch a fly with his hands.
Yeah, I don't know why you said that, but yeah, he could. Anyways, back to MVP. I agree, Taylor Hall, definitely in the consideration. 1. Number 2 for me, Nathan McKinnon. He has turned this Avalanche squad around and gotten them back in the playoffs after last year was absolutely devastating and disappointing. But I think Nate McKinnon, after they ship out Duchesne, takes that number 1 center role, and he has really brought the Avalanche back to life.
Yeah, they looked like they were on the deathbed before he started to turn it on.
Yeah, and I mean, he was out for a few games this year and still manages to be, I think, top 5 in scoring this year. So, my biggest thing for MVP, most valuable player, you got to be the most valuable player to your team. And those 2 guys, Taylor Hall and Nate McKinnon, have been the most valuable players to their teams. Because if you take them off, neither team is anywhere close to playoffs in my mind. And so I think those are the top 2 in the running right now.
For me, I'm also going to have to go with Taylor Hall of the New Jersey Devils. I just think he's on a whole nother level this season. He's red hot, and I don't think he can be stopped. And that's why I have him and his team upsetting the Lightning in the first round just because of how great he has been playing. So, yeah, I'm going to have to go with Taylor Hall as well.
Yeah. All right, well, thanks for tuning in the NHL portion. Squid, thanks for coming on. We'll see you later.
Anytime, man.
We got a couple more sessions coming up for this podcast, so we'll be right back.